Thomas Partey to Manchester United, who says no? The free transfer that could change everything. Welcome to United News, your most trusted and reliable source for everything Manchester United. When the transfer rumors start flying and the speculation reaches fever pitch, you know exactly where to turn for the real story. We've built our reputation on bringing you accurate information, expert analysis, and insider insights that you simply won't find anywhere else. Whether it's breaking news, tactical analysis, or transfer updates, United News is your go-to destination for all things Red Devils. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing transfer possibilities that could transform Manchester United's midfield without costing the club a single penny in transfer fees. It's a story about opportunity, timing, and the kind of smart business that separates successful clubs from the rest. What if we told you that one of the Premier League's most accomplished defensive midfielders could be available on a free transfer this summer? What if that player has proven himself at the highest level, knows the English game inside and out, and could solve multiple problems in United's midfield with one signature? And what if Manchester United would be making a massive mistake if they let this opportunity slip through their fingers? Get ready for the complete breakdown of why Thomas Partey to Manchester United makes perfect sense, why it could be the bargain of the century, and why every United fan should be demanding the club make this move happen. The free transfer opportunity that changes everything. In the world of modern football, where transfer fees have spiraled out of control and even average players command enormous sums, free transfers have become more valuable than ever. They represent rare opportunities for clubs to add proven quality without the financial burden of huge transfer fees, allowing them to invest their money in wages and other areas of squad improvement. Thomas Partey's situation at Arsenal presents exactly this kind of opportunity. The Ghanaian midfielder, who cost Arsenal £50 million when they signed him from Atletico Madrid in 2020, could be available for nothing this summer if his contract situation isn't resolved. For a player of his caliber and experience, this represents one of the transfer bargains of the decade. But here's the key question that every United fan should be asking. If Thomas Partey becomes available on a free transfer, who at Manchester United would say no to signing him? The answer should be absolutely nobody, and if United fail to capitalize on this opportunity, it would represent a massive failure in their transfer strategy. Think about it this way. United have spent hundreds of millions in recent years trying to solve their midfield problems. They've signed players for huge fees, given massive contracts to underperforming stars, and still haven't found the perfect balance in the middle of the park. Now they have the chance to sign a proven Premier League performer for free, and any hesitation would be inexcusable. The midfield machine everyone wants. When we talk about Thomas Partey, we're not discussing some unproven prospect or aging veteran looking for one last payday. We're talking about a midfield machine that every top club in Europe would love to have in their squad. His combination of physical presence, technical ability, and tactical intelligence makes him exactly the type of player that modern football demands. Partey's resume speaks for itself. He spent years at Atletico Madrid, one of Europe's most tactically sophisticated clubs, learning from Diego Simeone how to break up play, distribute the ball, and control the tempo of matches. His move to Arsenal proved he could adapt his game to the Premier League's unique demands, and despite the Gunners' inconsistent form during his time there, his individual performances have consistently impressed. What makes Partey so special is his completeness as a midfielder. He's not just a destroyer who breaks up play and passes the ball sideways. He's not just a creative player who struggles with the defensive side of the game. He's the rare type of player who can do everything you need from a central midfielder at the highest level. His defensive stats are impressive. He wins tackles, intercepts passes, and provides the kind of physical presence that allows more creative players to flourish around him. But he's equally comfortable on the ball, capable of picking out passes that break the lines and starting attacks from deep positions. The perfect partnership with Ugarte. One of the most exciting aspects of potentially signing Thomas Partey is how perfectly he would complement Manuel Ugarte in United's midfield. The Uruguayan has shown glimpses of his quality since arriving at Old Trafford, but he needs the right partner to truly unlock his potential. Ugarte and Partey together would create one of the most formidable defensive midfield partnerships in the Premier League. Both players understand the game at the highest level, both have experience in Europe's top competitions, and both bring different but complementary skills to the table. Ugarte's energy and pressing would work beautifully alongside Partey's positioning and reading of the game. While Ugarte covers ground and harries opponents, Partey could sit deeper and organize the midfield, using his experience and tactical intelligence to ensure the team maintains its shape and balance. From an attacking perspective, having two such solid defensive midfielders would give Ruben Amorim incredible flexibility in his tactical approach. He could push his fullbacks higher up the pitch, knowing that Partey and Ugarte would provide the defensive cover needed. He could deploy more attacking players in advanced positions, confident that his midfield base was secure. Can you imagine the impact this partnership could have on United's overall performance? How many games have we watched where United's midfield has been overrun, where they've lacked the physicality and experience to control the middle of the park? Partey and Ugarte would solve these problems immediately. Premier League proven quality. One of the biggest advantages of signing Thomas Partey is that he's already proven he can perform at the highest level in English football. There would be no adaptation period, no questions about whether he can handle the pace and physicality of the Premier League, and no concerns about whether he understands the tactical demands of English football. Since joining Arsenal in 2020, Partey has made over 100 appearances in the Premier League, facing every type of opponent and every style of play that the league can throw at him. He's played against Manchester City's possession-based approach, Liverpool's high-intensity pressing, and the physical battles that characterize matches against teams like Burnley and Crystal Palace. This experience is invaluable. Too many times, we've seen United sign talented players from other leagues who struggle to adapt to the unique demands of English football. The pace of the game, the physicality of the challenges, and the relentless schedule all take time to get used to. With Partey, United would be signing a player who has already mastered these challenges. His performances in big games have been particularly impressive. Whether it's controlling the midfield in North London derbies against Tottenham or standing firm against Manchester City's attacking threats, Partey has shown he can rise to the occasion when it matters most. The defensive midfield excellence United need. Let's be honest about Manchester United's recent struggles in defensive midfield. For years, the club has lacked a player who can consistently break up opposition attacks, shield the defense, and provide the kind of stability that championship-winning teams require. Various players have been tried in this role with mixed results. Some have shown glimpses of quality but lacked consistency. Others have been solid defensively but offered little in possession. Still others have been comfortable on the ball but struggled with the physical and defensive demands of the position. Thomas Partey represents the complete package that United have been searching for. His defensive statistics consistently rank among the best in the Premier League. He makes crucial interceptions, wins important aerial duels, and has the physical presence to dominate the middle of the park against any opponent. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about the impact he has on his team's overall defensive structure. When Partey plays, Arsenal look more solid and organized. He provides the kind of leadership and communication that helps the entire team maintain its shape and discipline. For United, this could be transformational. How many times have we seen the team's defensive structure collapse when they lose the ball in midfield? How often have opposing teams been able to play through United's midfield because they lacked a player with Partey's positioning and anticipation? The financial genius of free transfers. In today's inflated transfer market, the financial benefits of signing Thomas Partey on a free transfer cannot be overstated. When Arsenal signed him from Atletico Madrid, they paid £50 million for his services. That same player could now be available for nothing more than wages and signing bonuses. This kind of deal allows United to allocate their transfer budget to other positions where free agents aren't available. Instead of spending £40 or £50 million on a defensive midfielder, they could invest that money in a striker, a winger, or defensive reinforcements. The economic logic is simple but powerful. Why pay huge transfer fees for unproven talent when you can sign established Premier League performers for free? Why take risks on players who might not adapt to English football when you can add someone who has already proven himself at this level? From a financial fair play perspective, free transfers are even more attractive. The transfer fee doesn't count against spending limits, meaning United could add Partey's quality without impacting their ability to make other signings. Smart clubs have been using this strategy for years. Real Madrid built their Galactico era partly through shrewd free transfers. Bayern Munich regularly snap up quality players whose contracts are running down. Manchester United should be learning from these examples and being more aggressive in the free transfer market. Amorim's tactical system and Partey's fit. Ruben Amorim's tactical approach demands specific qualities from his central midfielders, and Thomas Partey possesses almost all of them. The Portuguese manager likes his teams to be solid defensively while maintaining the ability to transition quickly into attack, and Partey's skill set aligns perfectly with these requirements. In Amorim's system, the defensive midfielders need to be comfortable receiving the ball under pressure and distributing it quickly to more advanced players. They need to provide defensive cover when the fullbacks push forward, and they need to have the tactical intelligence to read the game and make quick decisions. Partey has demonstrated all of these qualities throughout his career. His time at Atletico Madrid taught him how to play in a disciplined, tactically sophisticated system. His experience at Arsenal has shown he can adapt to different styles and approaches depending on what the team needs. The beauty of signing a player like Partey is that he makes everyone around him better. Defensive players feel more confident knowing they have his protection in front of them. Attacking players can take more risks knowing that Partey will cover for them if they lose possession. The Arsenal factor, why he might leave. Understanding why Thomas Partey might be available requires looking at his situation at Arsenal. Despite his individual quality, his time at the Emirates hasn't always been smooth sailing. Injuries have disrupted his progress, changes in management have affected his role, and questions about his long-term future have persisted. Arsenal's squad evolution under Mikel Arteta has seen several experienced players moved on in favor of younger alternatives. The club's focus on building for the future might mean that a 31-year-old midfielder, regardless of his quality, doesn't fit into their long-term plans. From Partey's perspective, the opportunity to join Manchester United could represent a fresh start at a club with genuine ambitions of competing for major trophies. United's history, global profile, and current project under Amorim could all appeal to a player who wants to maximize his remaining years at the top level. There's also the factor of appreciation and recognition. At United, Partey would be joining as a key signing who could immediately improve the team. At Arsenal, he might sometimes feel like his contributions are taken for granted or overshadowed by younger, more fashionable players. The competition factor, why United must act fast. If Thomas Partey does become available on a free transfer, Manchester United won't be the only club interested in his services. Players of his caliber and experience don't stay on the market for long, especially when they're available for nothing more than wages. Italian clubs like Juventus and AC Milan have built successful strategies around signing experienced players on free transfers. Spanish clubs like Barcelona and Atletico Madrid could see the value in bringing back a player they know well. Even other Premier League clubs might be tempted by the opportunity to add his quality without paying a transfer fee. This competition makes it essential for United to act decisively if they want to secure Partey's signature. Hesitation or delays could see him end up at a rival club, leaving United to regret missing out on a player who could have solved their midfield problems. The club's recent history is littered with examples of targets who were allowed to slip away because United didn't act quickly enough. Learning from these mistakes means being proactive when opportunities like this arise. What Partey brings beyond statistics. While Thomas Partey's statistical contributions are impressive, what he brings to a team goes far beyond what can be measured in numbers. His presence alone changes how opponents approach games against his team. Knowing they have to deal with his physicality, his pressing, and his ability to break up attacks makes other teams think twice about their tactical approach. There's also his leadership and experience. Having played in Champions League finals, World Cups, and high-pressure Premier League matches, Partey understands what it takes to perform when the stakes are highest. This kind of experience is invaluable in a young squad that's still learning how to handle pressure. His communication and organization skills help the entire team maintain its structure and discipline. Younger players benefit from having someone with his experience guiding them through matches, helping them understand when to press, when to sit back, and when to take risks. The intangible benefits of signing a player like Partey often prove more valuable than the measurable ones. His professionalism, work ethic, and winning mentality would set standards that other players would be expected to match. The injury concerns, a balanced perspective. Any honest discussion about Thomas Partey must acknowledge the injury concerns that have affected parts of his career. Like many physical players who've had long careers at the highest level, he's dealt with various fitness issues that have sometimes limited his availability. However, these concerns need to be put in proper context. Many of football's greatest players have dealt with similar issues, and smart squad management can minimize the impact of injury-prone players. Having quality depth and rotation options allows clubs to manage these players effectively while still benefiting from their contributions. For a free transfer, the risk-reward calculation is different than it would be for a big-money signing. If United were paying £50 million for Partey, injury concerns would be more significant. When he's available for free, the potential reward far outweighs the risks involved. Moreover, United's medical team would have the opportunity to thoroughly assess his fitness levels before making any commitment. Modern sports science and injury prevention techniques are more advanced than ever, potentially helping to minimize future problems. The age factor, experience versus longevity. At 31 years old, Thomas Partey is at an interesting stage of his career. He's no longer a young prospect with unlimited potential, but he's also not yet at the stage where age-related decline becomes a major concern. For a defensive midfielder, 31 can actually be considered the peak years when experience combines with maintained physical abilities. The history of football is full of defensive midfielders who performed at the highest level well into their 30s. Players like Andrea Pirlo, Xabi Alonso, and Michael Carrick all had some of their best seasons after turning 30. The position relies as much on intelligence and positioning as it does on pure athleticism. For United's current situation, Partey's age could actually be an advantage. The club needs immediate improvement in midfield, not a long-term project that might take years to develop. Signing an experienced player who can contribute immediately while younger players develop makes perfect sense. The character and mentality question. Beyond the tactical and technical aspects, any potential signing must be evaluated on character and mentality. Does the player have the right attitude? Will he fit into the dressing room culture? Can he handle the pressure of playing for Manchester United? Thomas Partey's career suggests positive answers to all these questions. His time at Atletico Madrid, known for their strong team spirit and work ethic, shows he can thrive in demanding environments. His performances for Ghana in major tournaments demonstrate his ability to handle pressure and deliver when his country needs him most. Players who've worked with him consistently speak highly of his professionalism and dedication. Former teammates and coaches praise his work ethic and his willingness to put the team's needs ahead of his own personal interests. For a United team that's still building its culture under Amorim, adding players with proven character and mentality is essential. Partey would bring the kind of professional standards that help establish winning cultures. The tactical flexibility he offers. One of the most underrated aspects of Thomas Partey's game is his tactical flexibility. While he's primarily known as a defensive midfielder, his skill set allows him to be deployed in several different roles depending on what the team needs. He can play as a single pivot in a 4-3-3 formation, providing defensive cover while distributing the ball to more creative players. He can operate as one half of a double pivot in a 4-2-3-1, sharing defensive responsibilities while offering different strengths than his partner. He can even drop into a back three when the team is defending, providing additional defensive solidity. This flexibility would give Amorim multiple tactical options within the same match. Depending on how games develop, he could adjust Partey's role and positioning to maximize his impact on the match. Having players who can perform multiple functions is invaluable in modern football, where tactical adjustments within games can be the difference between winning and losing. Partey's versatility makes him the kind of player that top managers love to have in their squads. The message it would send. Signing Thomas Partey on a free transfer would send several important messages about Manchester United's current direction and ambitions. First, it would show that the club is making smart, economical decisions in the transfer market rather than overpaying for unnecessary risks. Second, it would demonstrate that United are serious about building a team capable of competing immediately rather than focusing solely on long-term development. While youth development remains important, adding experience quality is essential for short-term success. Third, It would prove that United can still attract top-level talent even when competing against other major clubs. Landing a player that other teams want shows that the United project remains attractive to ambitious players. Finally, it would signal to the fan base that the club is learning from past mistakes and approaching transfers with greater intelligence and planning. The fan perspective: what supporters really want. Manchester United fans have endured years of questionable transfer decisions, overpaid signings, and missed opportunities. They've watched the club spend enormous sums on players who failed to deliver while missing out on obvious bargains that ended up starring for rival teams. The opportunity to sign Thomas Partey represents exactly the kind of smart business that supporters have been demanding. Here's a proven Premier League performer available for free, a player who would immediately improve the team without requiring a massive financial outlay. Fan forums and social media discussions consistently highlight the need for a proper defensive midfielder who can provide stability and leadership. Partey ticks all these boxes while also offering the kind of experience and winning mentality that United's squad currently lacks. The question posed in our title, "Who says no?" reflects this fan sentiment perfectly. From a supporter's perspective, there are no valid arguments against pursuing this signing if the opportunity arises. Learning from past mistakes. Manchester United's recent transfer history is littered with expensive mistakes and missed opportunities. The club has paid premium prices for players who never justified their fees while allowing quality players to join rival clubs for much less money. The Paul Pogba saga cost United over £100 million and never delivered the expected results. The Alexis Sanchez deal became one of the worst signings in Premier League history. Meanwhile, players like N'Golo Kanté and Fabinho joined other clubs and became key players in title-winning teams. Thomas Partey represents the chance to learn from these mistakes. Instead of gambling on expensive and proven signings, United could add established quality at minimal financial risk. Instead of missing out on obvious targets, they could be proactive in securing a player who makes perfect sense for their needs. The broader transfer strategy. Signing Thomas Partey shouldn't be viewed in isolation but as part of a broader transfer strategy that prioritizes intelligence over glamour. The best-run clubs in world football combine expensive star signings with smart bargain purchases, creating squads that offer both quality and value. Real Madrid's success has been built partly on this approach, mixing Galactico signings with shrewd free transfers and bargain purchases. Manchester City have followed a similar strategy, paying big money for key positions while finding value in less high-profile additions. United need to adopt this same approach, and Partey could be the perfect example of how to do it right. Use the money saved on his free transfer to invest in other positions where free agents aren't available. The risk-reward analysis. Every transfer involves some level of risk, but the risk-reward profile of signing Thomas Partey on a free transfer is overwhelmingly positive. The potential rewards: immediate improvement in midfield, proven Premier League quality, leadership and experience far outweigh the minimal risks involved. The financial risk is almost non-existent since there's no transfer fee involved. The sporting risk is minimal given his proven track record at the highest level. The injury risk, while present, is manageable with proper medical assessment and squad planning. Compare this to the typical big-money signing where clubs risk tens of millions on players who might not adapt to new leagues or live up to expectations. The Partey deal represents the exact opposite: maximum potential reward for minimum risk. The timing factor. The timing of a potential Thomas Partey signing couldn't be better for Manchester United. The club is in the early stages of a new project under Ruben Amorim, still building the foundation for future success. Adding an experienced, proven player like Partey would provide immediate stability while the longer-term vision takes shape. For Partey himself, joining United at this stage of his career would offer the chance to be part of something special from the beginning. Rather than joining an established team where his role might be limited, he could become a key figure in United's revival. The summer transfer window also provides enough time for proper negotiations and medical assessments. There's no rush to make hasty decisions, allowing all parties to ensure the deal makes sense for everyone involved. Conclusion: the obvious choice. As we reach the end of this comprehensive analysis, one conclusion becomes crystal clear. If Thomas Partey becomes available on a free transfer, Manchester United would be making a serious mistake by not pursuing him aggressively. The evidence is overwhelming. Here's a player who brings exactly what United need: defensive solidity, Premier League experience, leadership qualities, and proven ability at the highest level. He's available at the perfect price point, free, allowing the club to invest their transfer budget in other positions. The partnership with Manuel Ugarte could transform United's midfield from a weakness into a strength. The tactical flexibility he offers would give Amorim multiple options for different types of matches. The message it would send about United's renewed intelligence in the transfer market would be invaluable. Most importantly, this represents the kind of smart, low-risk signing that championship-winning teams are built on. While other clubs chase expensive gambles, United could quietly add a player who makes them better immediately. Here at United News, we'll continue to monitor this situation closely and bring you every update as it develops. We've built our reputation on delivering the transfer news that matters most to United fans, and we'll make sure you're the first to know if this potential deal gains momentum. The question remains simple but powerful. Thomas Partey to Manchester United? Who says no? Based on everything we've analyzed, the answer should be absolutely nobody. If United fail to capitalize on this opportunity should it arise, it will be remembered as one of their biggest transfer mistakes in recent memory. Stay tuned to United News for all the latest developments in this and every other story that matters to Manchester United fans. Because when it comes to transfer news, analysis, and expert insight, we don't just follow the stories. We break them down, analyze them, and help you understand exactly what they mean for your club. The summer transfer window is approaching, and opportunities like Thomas Partey don't come around often. Let's hope Manchester United are paying attention.